in child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This is someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. True. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Hey everybody, man, that gets me every time, and I mention it a lot, I know, but you have more rights as a criminal than a parent. We gotta do something about that, you guys. Hey everybody, it's LJ. I'm here with Stephanie. Hey Stephanie, out in California.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining our show. CPS and win is the objective, and I know I'm going to do it someday. But anyway, so tell me a little bit about how you got involved with CPS.
As a child, I was actually sexually molested by my biological father from the age of 8 years old to 12 years old. When nobody knew about it, everybody knew that he was abusive physically, but not sexually. And, I was scared, so I didn't say nothing. It actually took, when I was 12 years old, my stepmom found hickeys on my neck, and she questioned my dad about it. And she kind of knew that something was wrong. So, she took me to the police station so we can do a report. She basically, nothing happened to my dad. He got to come home, and she accepted him back with my other siblings. And she basically took me to the police station, said, her dad's been molesting her. I can't have her at the house. He's coming home. Put her in foster care. I was 12, but I'm not stupid. Right away I was like, well, I have family. Can I go with family? And she suggested to the police that I wouldn't be safe, so to just take me somewhere far. So that was my stepmother.
God bless her.
Yeah. So the police station ended up calling CPS, let them know what was going on. My worker was actually really nice back then. I don't remember her name. It's been so long, but I remember she was really nice. And
a lot of people are probably going, did I hear that right?
No, she was nice. And once she placed me in the home with the family, they removed her from my case. Right when I got in there, the next day a worker came to visit me, and it was a different worker, not the one that originally put me in there. So this worker was more of like, okay, this is what's going on. This is where you're going to be. You'll have court in this many days.
See, now
The whole. So like
change in
yeah,
caseworkers.
yeah. Back then, the workers, they weren't what they are today. Today it's just so sad. I've had nephews put in foster care by CPS recently, just a couple years ago, and they were actually abused in the foster care, the foster home. Those workers were presented with photos and dates of bruises and lacerations on private areas of my nephew because he wasn't potty trained. And the CPS workers basically called my sister a liar, said she photo screened stuff and or photoshopped it and didn't do nothing. To this day, that family is still fostering children right now, and so is her worker.
That is sickening.
See, and when I was in the foster home, my foster mom, she passed away now, but her and her son were foster parents, so they were both licensed. I witnessed. I'm sorry.
What was that relationship like with them? Were they?
They were mean. They were mean people. I'm not gonna lie. Those people were so mean. When I got there, it was me and two other girls. One of the girls was gonna be getting ready to go back with her family. Bless her. The other little girl, unfortunately, I don't want to say it was a race thing, but she was a little white girl. I'm Mexican. The family was a black family.
Oh, wow.
And that foster mom did not like that one little girl for anything. She was just so mean to her. She would give her small portions of food. If she was still hungry, she got yelled at. She couldn't take a bath when she needed to take a bath. I saw with my own eyes the foster mom literally beat with a broomstick that little girl as that little girl's running up the stairs. She reported it at school, and CPS came. They came and they questioned us. I know that they can tell in my eyes and the other girl's eyes that the foster mom was evil and that she was lying. We were threatened to not say one word because then we were going to get it once they left. CPS didn't bother to look into it more. They seen bruises. They did not investigate it more. There was so many things that CPS could have done to protect us, and they didn't do it. Thankfully, that little girl got to go home a month later, so I was the last one left.
And not to dismiss the little girl who got all of that abuse, but that must have been really traumatic for you to see that and to
know that I'm going into a home that's abusive like that when I just came from a home where my dad punched me in my face and my head every single day, all day. So I went from already a traumatic childhood to going into another place where they're doing the same thing. And I remember there was an occasion where the son of the foster lady, he was watching me, and the foster mom told me, you can go into the room, take the phone with you because I'm going to call you at lunchtime. Her son didn't like that. So when he knew that I had the phone upstairs, he went upstairs and I was sitting on the floor. And I remember he grabbed me really hard by my arm and he yanked me up and he pulled me out the room and started yelling at me. So I went outside and I was crying. And as soon as the foster dad came home, he was a sweet man. He was very nice. He left the lady, the foster mom, and he left the house because of what they were doing. I wish he would have reported it, but all he did was just leave. But at that time, I told him what had happened, and he's seen the hand marks and the fingerprints on my arm because it bruised up. I'm one of those people that bruise very easily. So he's seen it and he was very mad, and they got into a really heated argument because of that. And then when the foster mom came home, because she also worked at a group home in Long Beach, California. So not only did she foster us, but she had kids And she would come home and tell us how they were bad kids, they're the trouble kids, and then she'd take that frustration out on us. Not one time.
Stop you right there, because you guys, it is so important. I see this all the time in just regular society. People see things they know is wrong,
Mhm.
should be, somebody should be made aware of abuse and
Yeah,
neglect, or somebody that's being hurt. And I've seen people just walk past like it's not happening.
yeah.
Like, come on, everybody, like, you do something, say something.
That's how I felt. I was so hurt to know that he left her and divorced her for that reason, but he didn't report it, because like I said, there could have been so much done. I feel in my heart because she passed away before I got to live with my aunt and uncle. She passed away from cancer. I don't
The
know
thought,
if it's right or wrong of me, the foster mom, but I kind of feel it was her karma because of how evil she was, you know?
I don't feel bad for you.
They,
And me
they
and Jesus are good. I'm already forgiven.
yeah,
But
exactly.
that's terrible that she died. But I kind of believe in karma also. You don't abuse kids. You don't abuse people. In
Especially when we're already coming from that type of family, it just makes it worse. Like, I mean, I suffer now from, I have bipolar, I have depression reoccurring. Like, everything that's happened to me, it's like it's all over again, like right now, so there's a lot of things I struggle with, and because of that, with my child, I get scared. I make sure I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to, because I don't want to ever go through something like that with my child, or to see anybody go through that at that matter, especially nowadays. Because just what I'm telling you, that was back in the early 90s. So, I mean, if it was like that, and then look at how it is now, it just
well,
shows you how much nobody's done anything for them to suffer repercussion. They're supposed to keep our children safe, keep us safe, and I'm 40 years old now, and I've never got justice for anything that's happened to me, not what my dad did to me, not what the foster people did to me. I've never got justice for anything. What I do is I see my doctor, and I learned that to deal with all of my anger, depression, everything, I write music. So that's how I do it. My goal in life, and this is why I reached out to you guys. My goal in life, and I feel like it's coming true, is I want to let people know what I've been through. Majority of my music is what I've been through, what I've suffered, how I've lived, because I want to reach out to those that are either going through it or been through it. I want to help them. I want to let them know, hey, you're not alone, and we're strong, because you know what? We're here today. We made it, and that's my goal. And that's the reason I reached out to you guys, because there's so much things happening, and we all have a voice, and we shouldn't be scared to use it. Unfortunately, it took me this long, but hey, I'm doing it, and I'm getting the word out there.
congratulations, soldier. You
Thank
are nothing short of amazing. And I love that so much. Like, and that's why I do this show.
Yeah, and
Not
that's
only because
awesome
of
what
stuff,
you're doing.
but I know how much other people is suffering because of how powerful we, the people, have allowed this organization to become. And
Exactly.
I'm not kidding you. All my life, I have feel like I've been preparing for a battle that only me was gonna face, like a thousands of people type. And I was saying no, and they were all saying yes, but I didn't care,
Yeah.
because this is what my dedication for the rest of my life is going to be. Also, is
Yeah.
they're going to be held accountable for all of the children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles that they have ripped apart, and it is lifelong trauma.
And another thing I'd like to add, what I experienced is when I was in the foster home, I was able to get in contact with my grandmother who raised me. and I got an address for her. So I would write her letters. And I told this to CPS, to the workers, and they did nothing about it. And I now know that this is a crime. When I was mailing letters to my grandmother, letting her know how I'm doing, where I'm at, what's going on, the foster mom was going out to the mailbox, taking my letters out of the mailbox, reading it, and then calling me into the back room, reading it to me, then yelling at me, scolding me, and then ripping it up in front of me and throwing it in the trash with my school pictures in there, to my grandma that raised me and had no idea where I was.
God, that's evil.
So, I mean, that's something that we should look into, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's, trying to reach out to family and other people, and they're taking kids' mail from them. They're not letting them write to people, and that's a crime. That's against the law. You can't do that, But
Pamela says the police in every state should be available to call if CPS comes to your door to defend our Constitution. They defend policies, not laws, and not even a government business. Pamela, I am going to disagree with that respectfully, because the police came with CPS in my case, and they did not defend the Constitution at all. They were working with each other based on a lie, and there's a lot more corruption. So just because the police would be involved doesn't mean that they're gonna defend our Constitution.
I agree with that, because my sister just experienced that.
And a lot of people think out there that CPS doesn't remove children from good people. In fact, CPS removes children from more good people than bad people, in my opinion. I mean, I know people who have custody of their children that are in no way, shape, or form should be like allowed to even babysit a flea rather than have a kid. I am a good person. I have good morals. I'm good to others. I work hard. I don't do anything bad. And I lost my kid because of something I didn't even know was happening. But I am a good person. And so I can't stand that stigma that CPS only takes from, bad people that deserve to, get their kids taken away. And then another thing, that we only have a finite amount of time to reunify, is bull to me. Like, I grew that child, gave birth to that child, raised that child. I should not have a very limited window, especially when a pandemic hit, reunify with my son before you're going to take him away forever. And I won't stand for it. But I've learned a lot, and I've grown as a person and learned a lot of lessons I was meant to learn. But it cost my son trauma that he didn't deserve. And they're going to pay for that. And I got to keep doing the research on how to figure out how to do that. Sorry, I have to bring the charger, I just realized. But anyway, so what ended up happening? When did you leave your foster home?
So I ended up leaving because, as I said, I was able to get in contact with my aunt and uncle, my uncle being my biological mom's brother. Mm-hmm. And they already had their license in fostering, because they actually had taken in my younger sibling and my cousins at one point in time. So I was able to go with them, and before I went with them and she found out, the foster mom found out, because you have to go to court and all that stuff, she was angry. She did not like that. I don't know if it's because the money that they were getting. I don't know what it was, but I mean, to be honest with you, I never seen none of that money. I never seen any new school clothes. I was there with the clothes that I had on my back from age 12 to 15. And when I was in the foster home, I was stealing clothes from the store so that I can have school clothes and school shoes. I was going to the stores and I was stealing them myself, going to the mall, stealing clothes at the mall so that I can have.
You were there.
Yeah.
That's a long time to experience
Yeah.
someone.
And they don't pay attention to you in there. I mean, I can remember I ended up meeting the wrong people while I was at a young age in the foster home. But I mean, I was already getting treated like crap. I already got taken away from family. I couldn't go with family who I knew would be good for me. So I just felt neglected altogether. And I would sneak out. I would sneak out. They wouldn't even know I was gone. I would leave from Friday to Sunday. The foster mom never knew I was gone. Like, she never knew. How are you caring for a child and you don't know?
Did you have any services, like any counseling or any groups, or like did they offer anything to you? Like they
The
offered
only,
services
the
to
only
take?
thing I was offered was at 17, I was offered to take an emancipation class so that I can get out of the system. And I was offered for them to pay for my college and books and stuff like that, in which I ended up just dropping out of school and had my first child at age 17 and delivered at 18. So
Basically, after what was it, 5 years, you were basically given a fast track way of, we're done with you now and can't get any more money off of you, but we'll pay for college. But we probably destroyed your mind and twisted it up, and good luck. See, that's
pretty.
another problem. They do not offer services to the children.
Mm-mm.
Like mine is very young. He's 3, and he is exhibiting behavioral issues. And in my opinion, it's because he's pissed I'm not taking him home, and he
Yeah.
doesn't understand why. And he
Yeah.
doesn't know how to communicate that. And I keep asking for, family therapy. And now I'm just going to set it up myself. I don't even know why I'm asking, but like you said earlier, you don't know a lot until you go through the whole situation. I mean, I didn't know half of what I know now until I was like 7 months into my case, because I was like shocked and traumatized and like didn't understand, because they don't communicate. They don't collaborate as a team the way it says that they're supposed to. I don't
It's
know if
just a
other
paycheck to them.
states
That's how I feel.
operate as a team,
Yeah.
and they work all independently. I feel like to like make me look worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that kids in foster home, I don't care how young they are, on some level they understand, and I feel that counseling or therapy is necessary because, like me, I emancipated myself out at 17 years old. I went into the world not knowing anything. I didn't know anything except for abuse and drugs. That's all that I knew when I went into that world. So I wasn't prepared when I had my son at 18, my daughter at 19. Like, it's just, they should prepare us, to let us know, Yeah,
And
it's
in my opinion, they use kids more than the parents do. Not in all cases. I don't mean to say that that's not, that doesn't happen, because, that's why they were designed in the first place, is,
Mhm.
protect children from those abusive people and dangerous people. But you were set out to fail,
Yeah,
and not supported or encouraged, and that is just not okay.
it's
And
not.
like I get like frustrated because I feel like I've been complaining for so long, but I'm not doing anything. And like I have to do something. Like we have to act, because talking is not going to do any different. Nothing's going to change. And
Right.
like contacting your senators and representatives of your state, that might help in a very long time from now. That's a long time from now. It takes forever to change all that stuff in the
It,
law, but that's something everybody needs to really look at.
And it's something we can look forward to.
Like, do something crazy. Like, I mean, like, they need to be taken down, and a class action suit needs to be initiated. And I don't know, maybe I'll do it pro se. You with me?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if you think about it, there's so many of us from just like my generation and the generation before me that was put in foster care. There's so many people right now that's going through it. There's way more of us than there is of them. And I've been saying this for years. If we can just all get together, every state, every country, every county, like wherever this is going on, there's so many of us and we can defeat them. And I really feel that we just need to figure out how and where. And I'm all for it. You know, hey, a lot of things are done through internet, through emails now. I have no problem signing stuff through an email or on the internet or whatever, you know, but like I said, there's way more of us than there is of them, and we can defeat them. We're not alone. Like I said, we all have a voice. We just need to learn how to use it, and don't be scared.
I don't like bullies at all, and they're bullies, and they bullied me in every sense of the term, to not stand up for what I knew was wrong. And they hurt my kid, and they hurt my family, and that's never been okay in any other part of my life. Why are they any different? There needs to be, see, if we don't have consequences for people who cross our boundaries, what lesson is learned? What changes? Nothing.
Right.
So, I don't know. We're gonna do something. I feel it coming. It's coming. And I just hope I'm, even if I help one person with my story, or you help one person with those lyrics that you wrote, that's enough. But it's going to be so much more than that, because these people are going to go down, and I dream about it all the time. It's the only way I can get to sleep.
Well, yeah, you and everybody else who suffer this have my support 100%. And, you know, like I said, I came across your videos and I looked into it. I went on the page, I started seeing it, and I was like, you know what, it's been this long. I got to say something. I got to speak up. So thank you for what you're doing. You know, you started it with giving us a voice, and look at, here we are. You know, I never thought that I would be talking to someone, telling my story and letting people know, like, hey, this is what happened. And, you know, so thank you. You know, I appreciate that, you know.
Thank you for sharing, because it's hard. Like, and I felt the same way. I was embarrassed, that I was involved with CPS, but I shouldn't be, because I didn't do things that they said I did, and they were never proven.
Right.
They took my son for failure to protect, because somebody was in the back of my car and threw out drugs in front of a cop. How did I didn't even know that was happening, or that person had drugs at all.
Right.
And they used my past against me. See, I had major trauma. When I was 18, my mother was shot and killed by my stepfather of 11 years. Then he committed suicide, and I was right there. And I didn't really deal with it until like maybe a decade later. And I started really drinking heavily, and I didn't realize that my brain had actually changed. When you experience trauma, your brain actually changes the way that it works.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to navigate that or deal with that. And I didn't do it in a healthy way, because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And I drank, and I got mean when I drank, and I got arrested, for a lot of, like, getting in people's faces because I was an angry drunk. But that was like my son wasn't even a thought in my brain at that time, and they were able to use that against me and put me in domestic violence classes, a 7-month program. But I can tell you what, that program has changed my life, and I was meant to have taken it. And I embraced the classes that they had me take. As hard as it is to work and live a regular life when your kids are taken from you, and you're not supposed to like show emotion about that, or you're mentally unstable, which like it's hard to navigate and just be normal about life when your babies are taken.
Yeah.
And they give you a lot of tasks to do. But I embraced those tasks, and they really helped me be a stronger and better person. And I'm actually grateful for them. And I still take that class, and it's been like 4 months past 7 month time I had to do that. But all the other stuff they had me do, like, didn't make sense. It had nothing to do with
Yeah.
anything, but I did it. And even then, so I still didn't get my son back, but I will. It's coming. It's right around the corner. And
Yeah,
thank God.
just keep your faith. It's it's gonna happen. You're doing everything that they want you to, and like you said, you even took that class longer than what you have to. That should be a consideration, and that's BS that they use people's past. Because people change. We all come with a past. I after going through everything I went through when I was in my 20s, I ended up getting addicted to crystal meth, and I lost my 2 kids, but thankfully not to CPS. I lost them to their father, so I don't really know what it feels like to have your child taken away, and it sucks, and I feel so bad, and there needs to be put a stop to it, because there are kids that do need to be taken away. I agree, there are, but there's also a lot that are being taken away from good parents, and it's all because, like you said, they go based off of people's past, and that's not right. That's not right at all.
And I feel almost like I'm being punished for something that I that wasn't my fault.
Exactly. You can't control everybody who goes in your car or your house that has something. It's like, what do they want you to do? Search people before, like, you can't do that. You're just, that's my friend. I should be able to trust them, and that's that. And if they F up, then they should be, suffering the consequence, not you. You did nothing wrong. And like I said, you're doing what you have to do. So
The judges, I mean, they're just signing off. The guardian ad litem, they're just agreeing with whatever the social worker writes. Nobody's doing their damn job.
nope, they're not.
And
And
like, I don't
there's
know
all
about you,
the
but
kids
if I go to
suffering.
my work, I work my butt off. Like, I don't go to work to be lazy and not earn my money. Um,
Right.
but why does my judge and my lawyer and my guardian ad litem get to be lazy?
Right.
Like, my guardian ad litem, he's never even met my kid.
I see a comment down here. It says they discriminated against my mother for having cancer. They didn't want to place my children with her because they said that she was too sick, which I don't believe they can do that. I feel the same way, because when I asked to go with my family, for example, my aunt and uncle who had their fostering license because they fostered my sister and my cousins, and they told me no, they would not let me go. And it took a lot. It took a lot for my aunt and uncle to actually get me out of that foster system, and I don't understand why they do that. That's not.
And you guys, this is happening way too much and much more often as we continue our days. And you guys need to contest it. Say something. If if your lawyer's not going to defend you, which if you've got a court appointed one, you need to make sure you're defending yourself.
Mhm.
Know the laws, and even if you know the law, or don't know the law. You know when something's right and when something's not right. They're supposed to
Exactly.
give you more services to strengthen the family. They're not supposed to just make you do some classes, go do drug tests, and see your kid very limited amount of time, and then you'll get your kid back. No, they're supposed to strengthen your family so that you don't have a dangerous situation and put the kid in danger or yourselves in danger.
Right.
If you know you are being treated unfairly, complain to everyone. You can complain and have your voice heard in a dignified manner. You don't have to be disrespectful or rude to get your point across that you're being treated unfairly and you won't stand for it.
Right.
But
Exactly.
because they're so powerful and they take what's most precious, it's intimidating. And a lot of people don't do well when they're intimidated and bullied, because most people have been abused in some manner, and kind of that, like, most people are recluse and back down and don't do anything, you know.
Right.
But I'm tired of that, and I'm gonna do something for everybody, you
Like,
know.
for example, my mom, back when I was 18, back in 2001, my mom had delivered a baby in prison, and so CPS took the baby away. This I don't understand. I was okay, I had a job, I had my own apartment, like, all my background was good. They allowed me visitations with my baby brother, and I got to see him 2 times. I called the worker myself and I asked her, how can I adopt him? I'm legal, I'm not in the system, I have employment, I have my own place, everything. And they told me that I could not have any information on him. I could not have any photos of him, and that I could not be an option of him getting adopted to me because I was in the foster care system. So then my sister tried. See, and my sister tried to do the same thing and get him, and they told her the same thing. They said no because you were in the system. And I mean, now I'm sure he's of age. Well, he is of age now, but back then, me and my sister, we were trying and trying, and they just kept refusing us, and they didn't give us no information at all. And he wasn't even adopted yet. He was still just being fostered by foster homes.
I don't get that at all. You were in the system, yes, but not because of something you did. They treated you like you were a criminal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How
Which is, to
disrespectful
this
that
day, to this day, we don't know anything about our brother, what he looks like, where he's at. We know nothing. The one and only time I saw him, he was maybe about 3 weeks old. I just he's 2 months older than my son.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Ragdoll Pet Grooming says, I was going to tell you guys what my mom told me. My mom, rest in peace, was a county worker for 30 years. She told me, ask for a supervisor, ask for that supervisor's supervisor, and just keep going. Yes, I agree. Do that. If you don't like the answer you're getting, you guys keep complaining to the net. Who's in charge of you? Who's in charge of you? We are a lot of people strong that are going through this. You guys, we need to rally together.
Yeah.
And out of the thousands of us that there are, they can't shut us up and
Exactly.
not do nothing about it if we all unite. And, like, come on, you guys, comment, leave ideas on our page, Fight CPS and Win, or on mine, Fight CPS with LJ. Like, let's do something about it. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people are going through this, and I'm sorry, but there's not the same amount in the Supreme Court or the appeals court to ignore that many people.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
It says ragdoll pet grooming. I know legal aid does exist for family court. It just depends if you are dependency or not. So maybe it'll be an option. I don't know if they do it with DCFs involved. Well, legal aid is still the state. You know, that's your court appointed attorneys that they don't they do a half-ass job. I'm sorry, there's some good ones out there, but they're few and far in between.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but it's hard to find a dependency lawyer that will fight CPS. So I don't want to become a lawyer by any means, but I'm kind of gonna be a backdoor lawyer and learn about what I got to, and try to go at it on my own if I have to. And you know, if we can, I just so we got to do something. And you guys, come on, leave lots of comments, as many as you want. And all of us together can come up with a plan, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to stop immediately. I'm tired of just sitting here doing nothing while my kid suffers the most. You know,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to help and protect children, and they're hurting my child, and I feel helpless. You know, and look at you, you know, you came through traumatic, just horrible conditions. And obviously, because you are nothing short of amazing, you're still standing and you survived. And um, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And it's lifelong, the damage that is done because of this organization.
Yeah.
And I'm sick by it.
Yeah. Yeah, because they
Now,
don't understand, a lot of us deal with it differently. I dealt with it once I got older, once I got into my 20s. I mean, like I said, I'm 40 now, and I'm just being able, to deal with it and doing something, So, I mean, it's a process. It takes long. For example, you said that your son is showing behavior issues. When my nephew was in it and he was being abused, um, he was traumatized. He got to come back with his mom and dad, but he was traumatized. There was no counseling offered for him. There was nothing offered for him. So now he has really bad anger issues. He has trust issues. And for a long time, he would not go into a bathroom by himself, or he would scream bloody murder like someone was going to kill him, and he has to suffer with that now. And he's still little. He's not even 10 years old yet. And he's still remembering and going through that. And it sucks, and they
what
don't do,
is
they do
he gonna have
nothing.
when he grows up? I mean, I hope he doesn't, but what if he becomes a criminal and it does dangerous things and mean things to people because of how upset he's been for so long and just had to suck it up
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
not, get help with letting that negative energy out. And that's what's happening is we're going to have a more dangerous world because of frustration that was never taken care of or acknowledged.
And the saddest thing about it, that trauma that he's going through from back then, they were only in the foster system for a little under a month. I want to say for maybe 3 weeks. And that's the trauma
Mind
he suffered. And they separated him from his other siblings because my sister has 5 children. They took all of them and separated him and left him with the baby who couldn't speak at the time.
My son was 2 when he was taken. Now he's 3. And I have only so I had him 100% of the time. They took him from me and gave me 1 hour a week.
They don't
Well,
realize what damage they're doing to the children. They're doing so much damage. It's awful.
he is very young, and
Mm.
it says, I think, at like every pediatric website you can think of, American Association of Pediatrics or whatever it is, says that it is detrimental to their development mentally when they are that young and they don't have frequent, consistent, and continuing contact with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Kids need to be, you know, it's hard to communicate with a child that young. And
Exactly.
completely have taken me away from him when I wasn't even the parent that was the offending parent.
Right.
So they've violated, like, I feel like I've been raped in a sense. You know what I mean? I mean, I was very taken advantage of it, but my son suffers the most. And,
Yes.
you know, you guys, if you have to use your visitation, if you get unsupervised, to go take them to a family therapist together, do it. If you go use your visit to do it, you know, make sure your kids are getting help, support, love, and encouragement in any way you can, even if they're being held, you know, from you and you can't see them. Write them letters, take pictures, you know, color them a page, do something for them, and one day you'll get it to them. You
Yeah.
know, continue to support your kids. They need you to fight for them, and don't give up. Like these bastards are going down.
Yeah.
You don't hurt kids. You don't hurt kids. It's one thing you want to hurt me, okay, whatever. But don't hurt a kid. Like, and we're just creating a bad world because these kids are going to grow up angry.
Yes.
And what happens if you stay angry and it's unaddressed for a long time?
It,
Gonna
you
explode.
a lot of
It's gonna
consequences.
come out pretty abruptly.
I'm actually on SSDI, which is Social Security Disability, and I'm under the care of a mental health doctor because my anger is so bad that I actually beat up a coworker in front of my supervisor, and I ended up getting in trouble legally, and I'm not allowed to work, and I love to work. I have the experience to be a manager in an office, and because I can't control my anger, which even to this day sometimes causes problems between, me and my spouse, because, he tries to understand as much as he can, but nobody understands the anger that we build up. And I'm those people that I hold it in, but once it's out, and there's nothing I can do about it. And because of that, like I said, I'm not allowed to work. I have to wait on the government to send me money every, once a month. And it sucks, and that's what they don't understand. Like I say, as you get older, or even now, or even when you're young, like, you're going to suffer some type of issue that you can't handle. Mine happens to be anger, and there's going to be a lot of kids like that. Their anger is either going to be, toward their parents or toward total strangers. And that's why, I'm sorry, but that's why we have these cycles out there, and
You're right.
it's a lot
You're
of
right. You're so right. And but I want to kind of correct you because you said you can't handle it, and that's a lie because you are, and you have, and you have started writing songs, and you want to help others. That doesn't sound angry at all. What what's
I've
hard
been
is you don't know how to navigate. You can only inhale so long before you have an exhale.
Yeah.
We need to remember to self-love, to maintain you and yourself. Remember what they say on an airplane? You put your oxygen mask on first because you can't take care of nobody else if you're dead or passed out.
Right,
So
that's
I
true.
forgot that because I was like, we're our own worst critics, of course. And I was too hard on myself and didn't self-love. But I
Mm-hmm.
this shit. I may not deserve, to sit on a throne and have, everything I want, but I don't deserve to go through what they've done and what they've done to my son.
Right.
It's mean and it's evil and it's not justice and it's just not okay. But
Right.
I thought it was my punishment, that I deserved it. And that's a lie. Like, don't tell yourself that, you guys. Get yourselves into therapy. Talk
Yeah.
to someone who is supportive in a healthy way. If you're involved in substance abuse, get some treatment for that. You don't have to go to a clinic to necessarily get over an addiction, because let's face it, the entire world has an addiction to something. Everybody does.
Right.
Whether it's legal or illegal, everybody's got a vice. So I can't stand that. BS about painting people with substance abuse disorders as these just shitty people who just choose to do drugs. That's just not how it is. It's
It's
because
not, it's like they don't get to stop, and we all have a backstory as to why we're going through something, or why we're doing this, or why we're doing that. Like, honestly, I felt like I was being punished for what happened to me. It's like, okay, so my dad beats me up every day, and he's touching me every day, and now I have to get taken away and put with strangers, and I can't even go with other relatives. And it's like, for a long time I used to think, well, maybe I shouldn't even have said nothing because I got punished for it. I mean, I held it in long enough because I
because
was always scared of them.
rational mind says, well, it must be me that is doing something wrong or
Yeah,
something is
I
separate.
that's
That's
how I felt. Yeah, I felt like that for a long time. Like with my music and stuff, I barely started doing that. It's been 3 years now. So I mean, it took me a while, but now I know how to, get it under control and stuff like that. But I mean, it takes,
do
it
you
takes,
just write the
it
music?
takes a lot, and they don't understand that. They just see that money and that's it.
Do you sing your music?
Do I sing my music?
Yeah, or do you just write it?
No, I write it and I rap it.
What?
Yeah, so like I have my own YouTube channel and everything, and a couple of days ago I finally got into a studio and I recorded a song.
Girl, I'm an undercover rapper at heart. That you just stole my heart. Do you have anything that you want to share or can share?
Um,
Or would you rather people look up your page?
yeah, they can look up my page. I'm a little shy.
That's okay. That's okay. Can you tell us what? I want to write this down, girl. That is amazing. She's a rapper, y'all. What is your YouTube page that everybody can go see and check out your raps?
If I write it in the comments, will it pop up or no?
Yep.
Let me see. Well, it's Stephanie, so STEPHANIE, and then it's little LIL, and then it's Steffi, which is STEFFY 562. So Stephanie, little Steffi 562 on YouTube.
Okay, I don't have a pen. I just realized what I have is a thing of mascara. That's not gonna work. So if you wouldn't mind, please do put that in the comments and message me, and I would love to look up your page and see that. That's pretty cool, and that is a way for you to get out what happened to you, and you deserve to tell people what happened to you, because of this organization that paints themselves as white knights when they don't deserve that title.
They don't. They're honestly, I seen a meme on Facebook and it's so true. CPS is just like sex traffickers. They're traffickers. That's all it is. Like a lot of children that go to CPS, why are they missing? How is it that a foster family lost that kid, or why did that kid die, or why is that kid now in the hospital? It's like, I don't know. They're very evil. This is an evil world and an evil time that we're living in right now. And it sucks because our kids are suffering from it. And it's like, if just what I told you that I experienced and witnessed back in the early 90s and nothing was done about it or investigated then, and how worse it got now, where our children are actually being killed and tortured, and they're still not doing anything about it. That little boy, that Gabriel Fernandez, he always pops in my head. I always think about him because CPS left him with monsters that tortured him and killed that little boy. Those are the type of kids that should be put with a safe family member or a foster family that has a thorough background check, and that they're good. Why leave them with those monsters that tortured him? Or why in other cases put a tortured kid into a foster place that's going to torture them even more and maybe kill them? So it's not
And how
right.
many are out there right now experiencing that? And how many more is it going to happen to before somebody stands up and says no? Like, no more. This is done. I definitely know that we need an agency that makes sure kids are protected from abuse, neglect, torture, and all of that. But guess what? So do we as adults. They just like they say, they didn't write a book on how to raise kids. Well, they didn't write one on how to live life either. So we all get it wrong. We all make mistakes, but you shouldn't ruin the rest of my life for some mistakes I made because of torture that I went through. I didn't know how to deal with. We're not helping each other. We're hurting each other as a society, and and then we have a pandemic, and people are taking advantage of people even more. That's just evil shit. I'm sorry. Y'all stop being mean. Not you, but you meanies out there. Like, I
Yeah.
can't stand it. And I love this show and what Vincent Davis has created, and the kind of person that he is, and Georgette and all the people that I've met from this show. It makes me stronger every single week,
Yeah.
and it rejuvenates me and gives me, I stand a little bit taller, and I'm only 5'2", and I'm not going up, I'm going down because I'm getting older. But I always feel better, and I feel like I have a way to navigate this much better because of people like you. And we need to support each other, you guys. And if something's not right, if you don't like what your case is, where it's going, say something, appeal, object, say no. You still have your rights. Even if you lose your rights, you can still fight. You can still turn it around. But you got to fight for your kid. Don't give up and let these people get our kids, because they don't deserve them. Our kids need us to fight for them. And
And if I can just add really quick, I don't know the age restriction or age of anyone in this group, but if there are any minors in here watching or happen to see this, and you're in the foster system or group home and you feel that something's wrong, or you're witnessing another underage person being abused or just anything that's not right, don't be scared like I was. I know now that nothing's going to happen to you, and you're actually going to save a life, and you're going to help another person out. Don't be scared to say something.
that's great advice. That's great advice. And tell a teacher, tell a nurse, tell the lunch lady, tell somebody who you believe you can tell that you know is it. Come on, kids, you know when an adult is a good adult. Like, kids feel
Yeah.
that energy. And us adults, if you see a kid that looks like they're sad, depressed, uh, distant, not there, you see something not right, ask that kid if they're okay.
Yes.
Automatically assume that they're being abused, because lots of kids are just, irritated and upset at certain stages of life because of hormones. But like, let's start asking these kids, when you see them just walking on the street or in the Walmart, engage with people.
Yeah.
See, I try not to engage with most people, but kids I love. Kids don't irritate me near as much as adults do. Talk to these kids, say hi. You're not a creep or a stranger danger if you're, just saying hi to a kid and letting them know that they have adults out here that are not going to hurt them and abuse them, and it's not how life should be lived.
Right.
And Stephanie, you're nothing short of a miracle, and good for you for standing up and persevering. It took a lot to get through it, but how the hell did you know how to get through it? There was no manual. And be careful, you guys, about beating yourself up for getting it wrong when you didn't know how to do it in the first place and get it right. Because when somebody abuses you and tortures you or neglects you or is bad to you, you don't know any better when you're a kid.
Right.
You think that's what you're supposed to deserve because you did something wrong, probably, because that's what a rational thought from a kid would think. So, guys, start stepping up for our kids everywhere, and don't back down. You don't like it, do something about it. Don't
Yeah.
just complain about it on social media or to your friend, or isolate like me and don't say anything, and then just be pissed off at the world. I don't want to be like that for the rest of my life. Like, I want to enjoy rest of my life with my son, enjoying his life
Yeah.
around good people, and they're out there.
I agree.
So, you guys, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you come back on my show.
Oh,
Maybe I can convince you one day to give us a rap live.
yes. No, I will. And again, thank you for doing this. I'm really thankful and grateful that I found it, because as much as I want to let people know they're not alone and I can help them, your channel and your show is doing the same for me, letting me know I'm not alone and that we all have similar type of stories and we're all in it together, fighting and doing what's right. So, thank you as well. I appreciate it.
Of course, and I just again, right back at you. Your story was amazing, and I'm really sorry you went through that. And you should be really extremely proud of how far you've come, because you're still standing here, and it didn't take you long, and you're doing it. And now look at you, you're rapping on YouTube. Um, and good for you. Pat yourself on the back, and you deserve the good. That's a great smile that you're smiling right now, because you worked
I,
hard.
I don't know, just being able to come on here and tell my story finally, because I mean, nobody knows my story. I've never opened out about this. I've been wanting to do a YouTube video about it, and just finding this and being able to talk about it and stuff, like, I feel good. I feel like there's been a weight lifted off my shoulders, so I just can't stop smiling.
And it's because you've earned it and you deserve it. And it's meant to be a permanent smile that should be a permanent fixture on your face for what you've gone through. And congratulations. And so I usually give a positive, inspiring song, you guys, at the end. I can't play them anymore because of copyright issues. But I'm going to do kind of a different one because I couldn't think of one because there's so many great ones. But I want you guys to sing happy birthday to yourselves twice or to somebody else. And I guarantee you're either going to say that's dumb and you're going to smile silently or you're going to smile out loud. Do silly stuff, you know, break up the monotony. It's a lot of negative stuff to go through. And let's all try to love each other and support each other. Thanks again, Stephanie. And I hope you guys all make it a great week. See you next week. Fight
Thank
CPS.
you.
Bye.
Bye.